They mocked her, overworked her, treated her like she didn't belong. They had no idea she owned the company. On her first day, no one looked twice at her. Simple clothes, no designer bag, no special treatment, just another intern. "Hey you," a sharp voice called across the office. "You're the new intern, right? Go grab coffee. 2 sugars, no foam." She nodded quietly. That was Emily Williams, daughter of the CEO, future owner of the company, but no one knew that. She had insisted on this, no announcements, no introductions. Just 6 weeks inside the company, undercover, her father had warned her, "You won't like what you see." Emily wanted the truth anyway, so she took the coffee orders, organized messy files, stayed late fixing presentations that weren't even hers, and watched everything. The team leader, Jason, loved taking credit for others' work. The senior manager, Claire, dismissed junior staff like they were invisible. Interns, they were treated like machines, overworked, ignored, replaceable. "Welcome to the bottom," one intern whispered to her on day 2. "Don't expect respect here." Emily just smiled. She didn't need respect. Not yet. Days turned into weeks. She noticed who helped others and who stepped on them to get ahead. One night, she stayed past 9 p.m. finishing a report Jason had dumped on her. He walked by, barely glancing at her. "Make sure it's perfect," he said. "My name's going on it." Emily looked up. For a second, something in her eyes changed, but then she nodded again. "Of course." The next morning, the report was presented in a major client meeting. Jason stood confidently, taking all the credit. The room applauded. Emily sat in the corner, silent, watching, learning, waiting, because this wasn't about proving she was better. It was about revealing who they really were and making sure they never forgot it. What they didn't know was that every late night, every insult, every stolen idea was being remembered, recorded, and soon it would all come back to them. By week 3, Emily had become invisible. Not in the way people disappear, but in the way people stop noticing you matter. "Emily, print this." "Emily, fix that." "Emily, stay late." "No, please." "No, thank you." Just expectations. Exactly what she wanted. Because the less they noticed her, the more they revealed themselves. Jason was getting bolder. He now handed her entire presentations, then stood in meetings acting like a genius. "Talent like this is rare," he said once, smiling as clients nodded. Emily sat behind him, expression calm. Claire, the senior manager, was worse. One afternoon, Emily overheard her talking near the glass conference room. "These interns are cheap labor," Claire scoffed. "Use them while they're here, they're all replaceable anyway." Emily paused mid-step. Replaceable, she wrote that word down later. Not because it hurt, but because it mattered. That same evening, something changed. Emily stayed late again, but this time not just to work. She opened her laptop and pulled up a private folder. Inside it, files, carefully labeled, dates, times, screenshots, proof. Jason's emails forwarding her work to himself. Recorded voice clips of Claire belittling staff. Messages where employees were pushed beyond limits without credit. Every piece of the company's reality captured. Her father wasn't wrong. This place wasn't broken on the surface. It was broken underneath, and no one at the top could see it. Until now. The next day, a small incident gave her even more clarity. One of the interns, Daniel, made a tiny mistake in a report. Nothing serious, but Claire exploded. "Do you even think?" she snapped loudly in front of everyone. "This is why people like you don't move up." The office went silent. Daniel stood there, embarrassed, eyes down. Emily watched closely. No one defended him. No one spoke. Fear had already done its job. That's when Emily realized something important. This wasn't just about a few bad leaders. It was a culture, a system, and systems don't change with warnings. They change with consequences. Later that night, she added one more file. Public humiliation recorded. She leaned back, staring at the screen. 6 weeks, she had said. She was halfway through, and now she had everything she needed. They still saw her as just an intern, still ignored her presence, still underestimated her. Emily closed her laptop slowly. A faint smile appeared. "Good," she whispered, because when the truth finally came out, it wouldn't just surprise them. It would destroy the version of reality they were hiding behind. Week 5. The atmosphere in the office felt the same. Busy, loud, ruthless, but Emily had changed. Not on the outside. She still blended in, still took orders, still played the role. But inside, She was done observing. Now she was preparing. Jason had an important pitch coming up, a multi-million-dollar client, the kind that could decide the company's future. And of course, he handed everything to Emily. "I need this perfect," he said, dropping a thick file on her desk. "This client is huge, don't mess it up." Emily looked at the file, then at him. "Of course," she replied calmly. But this time she didn't just complete the work. She perfected it, every slide, every number, every detail. Flawless, not for him, for what was coming. Meanwhile, Claire continued as usual, cold, dismissive, untouchable, until something unexpected happened. A quiet rumor started spreading through the office. "The CEO is coming next week." Panic, real panic. Desks were suddenly cleaned. Emails double-checked. People who never smiled started smiling. "Make sure everything looks perfect," Claire ordered. "No mistakes, not this week." Emily watched it all with quiet amusement. They didn't know. The CEO wasn't just coming. He was coming for a reason, and Emily was the reason. That evening, Jason stopped by her desk again. "Send me the final version tonight," he said. "I'll present it tomorrow morning." Emily nodded. But after he walked away, she made one small change on the final slide. Tiny, almost invisible, but powerful. Then she sent the file. The next morning, the conference room was full. Executives, managers, tension. Emily took her usual seat in the corner. Silent, Jason stood confidently at the front. "This presentation," he began, "represents weeks of strategic planning and execution." Emily almost smiled. Slide by slide, he walked them through it. Perfect delivery, perfect confidence, until the final slide appeared. Jason paused, just for a second, confused. Then his face changed. Because at the bottom of the slide, in small, clear text, it read, "Prepared entirely by Emily Williams, intern." The room went quiet. Jason quickly tried to move on. Just a minor formatting issue, but one of the executives leaned forward. "Wait," he said, "go back." The slide returned. The words stayed. Clear, undeniable, the room shifted. Eyes turned, not toward Jason, toward Emily. For the first time, they saw her. Jason's confidence cracked. Claire's expression tightened. And Emily, she sat there calmly. No panic, no fear, just control, because this wasn't the reveal. Not yet. This was just the beginning. The room didn't recover. It shifted, completely. Jason cleared his throat, forcing a laugh. "Like I said, just a formatting mistake. My team supports me, of course." But no one was laughing. The executive at the head of the table leaned back, eyes still on the screen. "Your team," he repeated slowly. "Or her work," Jason hesitated, just for a second. But in a room like this, 1 second was everything. Claire stepped in quickly. "We encourage collaboration here. Interns assist, but leadership drives the strategy." Smooth, confident, practiced, but Emily could see it now, the cracks. Small, but spreading. The executive nodded, but his expression didn't soften. "Interesting," he said, "because this looks like more than assistance." Silence, heavy, uncomfortable silence. Then the door opened. Every head turned. And just like that, the air changed again. The CEO walked in. No announcement, no warning, just presence. Power. Emily didn't move, but everyone else did. Chairs shifted. People stood. Nervous greetings filled the room. "Sir, we weren't expecting," Claire started. "I know," he said calmly, walking further inside. "That's the point." His eyes scanned the room, taking everything in. Then, slowly, they stopped. On Emily. Jason noticed it. Claire noticed it. Everyone noticed it. And suddenly, something felt off. The CEO walked past everyone else. Straight to the back of the room, straight to her. "Enjoying your internship?" he asked. Simple question, but it didn't sound simple. Emily stood up slowly, met his eyes. "Very educational," she replied. A faint smile appeared on his face. Then he turned back to the room. "Good," he said. "That's exactly why she's here." Confusion spread instantly. Jason frowned. "Sir, I'm not sure I understand." "No," the CEO interrupted. "You don't." He walked to the front of the room now, calm, controlled. And then he said the one thing that changed everything. "This is Emily Williams." A pause. Long enough to feel it. "My daughter." Silence, complete, total. Jason's face drained of color. Claire's confident posture collapsed. The interns stared, stunned, and Emily, she didn't smile, didn't react. because this moment wasn't about shock. It was about truth. The CEO continued, his voice sharper now. She asked for 6 weeks inside this company, no titles, no privileges. His eyes moved across the room. And what she found, he stopped, just for a second, then looked directly at Jason, was exactly what I was afraid of. No one spoke, no one moved, because now they weren't looking at an intern anymore. They were looking at the person who had seen everything and remembered it all. No one dared to speak. The silence wasn't just awkward anymore, it was heavy, suffocating. Jason swallowed hard, forcing himself to stand straight. "Sir, I can explain." "You will," the CEO said calmly. "But not right now." His voice wasn't loud, but it didn't need to be. It carried authority that shut everything down. Claire stepped forward, trying to regain control. "Mr. Carter, I assure you, whatever Emily observed may have been misunderstood. We maintain high standards." "Do you?" Emily's voice cut in. Calm, clear, but sharp enough to stop her mid-sentence. For the first time, Emily stepped forward, not as an intern, as someone who belonged at the top. She placed a folder on the table, then another, and another. Jason's eyes locked onto them, a quiet fear creeping in. "What is this?" he asked, his voice tight. Emily opened the first folder. "Emails," she said, "work reassigned without credit." Second folder, "Audio recordings, public humiliation, staff intimidation." Third folder, "Late-night task logs, interns doing full-time roles without recognition." Each word landed like a blow. Claire tried to speak again. "This is completely inappropriate." "No," the CEO said firmly. "What's inappropriate is that it exists." Silence again, but this time it wasn't confusion, it was exposure. Jason looked around, searching for support. No one met his eyes, because they all knew. They had seen it, lived it, stayed quiet. Until now, this company, the CEO continued, was built on trust, growth, and leadership. His gaze hardened. Not exploitation. He turned to Emily. "You've seen enough." She nodded once. No hesitation, no doubt. Then he faced the room again. "Effective immediately," he said, "we are restructuring leadership." Jason's breath caught. Claire's composure shattered. "You're both relieved of your positions." Just like that. No argument, no escape. Security was called. And for the first time, they were the ones being watched as they walked out. Not powerful, not respected, just replaced. The room stayed quiet long after they were gone. Then the CEO spoke again. "To everyone else," he said, "this is your chance to do better." His tone softened slightly, "because she will be watching." All eyes turned to Emily again, but this time there was no dismissal, no arrogance, just respect, real respect. Emily looked around the room, at the same people who had ignored her, overworked her, underestimated her, and finally she spoke. "Let's rebuild this the right way." No anger, no revenge, just control. Because in the end, the biggest revenge wasn't destroying them. It was proving she never needed them to begin with. A few months later, the company felt different. No fear, no silence, no exploitation. People spoke. Ideas mattered. And for the first time, interns were treated like future leaders, not disposable help. Emily stood in the same office, but not in the corner anymore. At the front, leading. One of the interns, Daniel, walked up to her. "You changed everything," he said. Emily shook her head slightly. "No," she replied, "I just exposed it." Across the street, in a small office, Jason refreshed his inbox. Empty. Claire sat in another building, staring at rejection emails. No one wanted them, not after what came out. Reputation, once broken, doesn't come back easily. Back at the company, Emily looked out the window. Calm, focused. Because she understood something now, power isn't about position. It's about what you do when no one is watching.